there is a lot of design element in how traditionally orchards, farms, pastures and forests interacted with each other. The houses were closest to the farms because the farms required most attention, and then the orchards required attention, pastures required little attention, and forests you took very little from the forest. So you did not really, you were very empathetic to the forest because the forest was critical for the pasture, for the orchard, and for the farm. Nutrients came from the forest for the farm as well. So this design, how are we going to design our future systems if we are, instead of only talk about historicity. So my talk is quite contemporary to understand how are we going to have that, productivity, and how are we going to get rid of the issue of nutritional insecurity that we seem to be having in our country today, in many districts of our country. So there are deep traditions of artisanal knowledge, whether it is loha, mitti, lakdi, patthar, kapda, and you can go from Padmashali to, Vishwakarma. All the communities you can find tremendous understanding of material, of process, of temperature, of pressure. And yet we do not have space for our artisans in our National Institutes of Design, in our IITs, in our IIMs. These are institutions that we have built which are insular. None of these artisans who are as good as our engineers. Our engineers, I consider, can learn a lot from our artisans, but we have disempowered our artisans for a very long time. For the longest of time, we seem to have disempowered our artisans. These are the artisans who built these water wells with a tremendous respect for mineral, plant, animal and human. So this is not only serving the human. These bowdies or these water wells are not only serving the human. They are serving mineral, plant, animal, human, and they're serving the intangible as well with a deep respect. And look at the aesthetics here, and look at the kind of structures that our PWD and our NBCC is building today. So old woman from Karnataka, who I think has conserved a tremendous amount of forest, to honor her, her photograph has been put here, and there's tremendous depth of knowledge with respect to what do we take from forest, how do we take from it, and how do we give back to the forest. The concept of sacred groves, that the forest is a sacred place and I take only that much that I actually deserve to take from the forest. Does our forest policy, can our forest policy learn from traditional knowledge systems of indigenous communities of forest dwellers? What can we, how do we look at the forest today? Or is the highway policy the most important, that golden quadrilateral more important? And then we talk we are cradle of civilization. We are not cradle of civilization anymore. I'm sorry, with the kind of highways policy that we have and the automotive policy that we have, we'll have very little forest left in a true sense. We may have plantations. We have no forest left really. Deep respect for Ritucharya, our diet, our how we lead our life, how courses are taught, how semesters are designed. Are we looking at Ritucharya?